Hi guys, welcome to hemorrdroids.net. My name's Andy. I'm going to take a look, just a bit of a comparison really between the two phones, just some of my initial thoughts, so it's not going to be massively in depth. I've been using the S3 now since, let me think, sorry, 5-6 days. I used the One X for probably around a month, so I've got reasonable use time with both devices. So I just thought, because I know it's the big question on everybody's mind, which should they get right now? These two, I would say, definitely are the best two to choose from, sort of spec-wise and just generally the top-end phones. They're both similarly priced. Well, no, I suppose they're not actually. The S3 is 500 SIM-free, or it's available on various contracts. 3 are doing one, for example, at £34 a month and free. That's how I got mine. Got another contract. The One X, actually, I'm not sure. The price may have come down now. Sorry, should have checked already, I suppose. But price isn't important. We are looking at which is the best phone right now. A lot of people talk about the speed or ask about the speed. Are they quick? You're really not going to notice the difference, I don't think. They're both such fast devices. I should point out they've both got Nova launcher at the moment, so they're pretty well set up the same. Look pretty much identical. Both got Nova launcher. They're both at the moment on 100% brightness as well, just so you guys can see the screens a bit better. Really, I tend to find if you put the auto brightness, I'll do it really quick. Oh, so I'll turn on the backlights. If I put the brightness back to automatic for a moment, hand gestures, that's what threw me, the whole hand gestures a bit. Right, automatic, oopsie, go away, brightness, automatic, okay. So those are them. Actually, they're very similar right now. I mean, I've got a lot of lighting shone on them at the moment. But, so as I was saying, the speed of opening things, you're really not going to see much of a difference, I don't think. No, of course. Yeah, we'll try opening something just to get a rough idea of the difference in speeds. And I think even though the One X is 1.5 gigahertz quad core, the S3 I believe is a 1.4 different processor. A lot of people give the S3 processor quite a lot of respect. Let's just try the MotoGP app. I will do a proper head-to-head as far as speed. There you see the S3. What's going on over here? I wonder if it's got a Wi-Fi, a strong Wi-Fi signal. Okay, maybe that's a bad example. Maybe just something's wrong with that app because I've not used this device for a week or so. So I guess, oopsie. Well, that's not a good example, is it? It's effectively crashed that app. Let's see what different. Traffic eye. So the S3, that's trying to get a GPS signal still. Maybe there's, for some odd reason, that it not having a SIM card is causing some problems. It shouldn't, it's got a strong data connection. Anyway, I'm not going to mess around too long. I will be doing tests of that type on a different video, or my usual. Yeah, so maybe that's giving it some grief. That's why I'd put it on aeroplane mode. It's going to keep popping up with that. But generally, I don't think, in real life use, I don't think you're particularly going to notice much of a difference in speed. They're both just so fast, you won't really see it. The camera, to be honest, that's it's quite an important thing for me. Let's have a look in the gallery. Just at some of the bruised foot, for example. Pictures generally on both of them have looked pretty impressive, I would suggest. Yeah, they're both just very clear. And look at the quality of that; it's fantastic, really. So cameras, again, they're both very similar, very much on a par. Roger will do a full test of the cameras for us, hopefully before too long, and then we'll have like a sort of definitive answer of which is better. But again, sometimes it's a bit on personal taste. The actual software apps for taking pictures are both very similar. I wouldn't say I favour one over the other. They're slightly different. The S3 has some natty little best shot things to it. I've not even used it yet myself. So camera, they're both very good. Software, this could be very sort of subjective, objective, down to taste basically. A lot of people prefer the Sense UI. but it does at the same time. People think it slows their device down a little bit. It's not the slickest. I think with the One X they have trimmed it down a bit, so it's a better job. But then at the same time, you look at some of the stuff. Now, I've skinned this as well, so probably not a good. I should have flashed it back to stock before I did this video, but I wanted to get it out to you guys, so I just went with what I had. So I have skinned this, got the ICS dialer. They've done a bit of a better job, so you can see there's kind of some tone and some shine to the buttons there, because some of them, I mean, you look at the contacts, you know, that's pretty, it's just a black background with white text. That's pretty dull as far as imaginative design goes, I would suggest. So you could say the One X has the edge there. The S3 has some features such as S-Voice, so I double press that. Show me a picture of Mount Everest.
I'm not sure what you mean by show me the picture of Mount Everest.
So I noticed this, I thought, well, I don't know, surely, I've not used the iPhone version, but surely that's something it would be able to do, isn't it? You ask it to show you something. I've asked it to show me a variety of things, it just doesn't understand. I want to see it, let's try. I would like to see a picture of Machu Picchu.
I'm not sure what you mean by I would like to see a picture of Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. So the voice detection, spot on, but that's not that complex a sentence, is it? So, you know, I just don't think the S-Voice is much use. The video floating as well, so you've heard about it. Let's see if I can give you a quick demo. So basically we start the video up, press that turn away. Now whatever we're doing in the background, the video stays floating over. It was only a short video, I should have maybe picked something longer. It's quite clever. I'm not sure I don't really, it's not like I'm going to be watching a movie on my phone. Some people do those, and maybe it'd be quite handy. They receive a text, they hit that button, they move it out of the way, and they reply to the text, still having the image on the screen. So yeah, software, you may give the edge to the One X. Hackability is an interesting one. The One X at the moment has a better selection of ROMs and things. There's not really, I've rooted the S3, but it is stock apart from that. So the One X, there's 4 or 5, well 2 or 3 of the well-known ROMs already available. So this is running hemorrdroids, for example, with a nice ice cream sandwich theme, giving me the icons and everything, and as you saw, the dialer. Whereas I don't think that's possibly on the S3. So almost surprisingly, HTC is favourable when it comes to hackability and the sort of ROM and dev background to it. Then we move on to the design, which is another personal taste, really. When I got the One X, I really liked it. Well, I mean, I still really like it. You know, it's a smart-looking device. I like the round edges of the screen there, if you can see that on the glass. I like the design around the back. I actually quite like the little, you know, I don't mind the little ridge there with the camera. It just helps when I'm fidgeting in my pocket to put it out to check which way around it is. So the One X, it's a really nice design of a phone. Then obviously the S3, a lot of people were quite upset when they saw the design on the video announcement. Myself included, I suppose. I thought it looks fairly normal. What they've really done, they're taking the S2, which was quite a square device, as the One X is, I suppose, and they've sort of crossed it with the Nexus design, giving it the rounded edges. Strangely, I actually missed the lip. I don't know, you know, again, I like something that lets me sort of know which way around I'm holding it without, I know maybe it sounds a bit silly, without looking at it or whatever. So if I am delving in my pocket or something, just to know which way around it is. And I do quite like the way they've done the edge, the silver edge, and it's kind of curved, and then the back cover being sort of quite curved at the edges. Let me turn this off as well. So it does feel, whereas the One X is sort of rounded at the screen and a bit squarer at the back, the S3 is kind of the other way, so it's very square at the screen but rounded at the back, and that actually I think gives a better feel in the hand. One of the other big deciding factors for me, and it sounds a little bit odd, is the power button positioning. So the One X is up on the top and the S3 is on the side. and it doesn't really matter which hand you're in, your left hand or right hand, that's just such an easier position for the power button. Whereas likewise, doesn't matter which hand you're in, it's not actually that easy. Well, it's not ideal anyway. I mean, you can get there, but you know, when you predominantly we use them in our right hands, and to get there you've got to rotate, or you've got to take your hand off, or you know, it can be quite annoying. The S3 has the advantage of the button in the base as well to wake it up. So for me, design goes to the S3, but many people may prefer the 1X. That's fine. The other weird thing, the S3 felt lighter. Now I've just weighed it on my own scales. In fact, I can show you. I don't know why, because you're not actually feeling the device, and so it won't really make much sense. But the S3 felt a lot lighter. Now I put that on there, 134. Put the S3 on, 132. So according to this, 2 grams between them. I wouldn't have believed that until I actually. That's why I cracked out my scales to actually weigh them, because the S3 just feels a lighter, thinner device. But I think a lot of it's in my head, perhaps just maybe that's the curvature, or I don't know what it is, but it feels a lighter, thinner device. And for me, it feels better in the hand. Couple that with the power button and the center button down here, and I do actually prefer the design of the S3. But again, that's much personal preference, so that's really for you to decide. The final thing, which may be the clincher for a lot of people and was definitely a big factor for me, is battery. So I'd had the 1X for a month or so. I went off to Bletchley Park. I took about 120 photos and a bit of video. It struggled actually charging. It's the first one, and maybe something's gone wrong with my phone charger in my car, but I plugged it in. I actually got a message saying you've not got enough power coming in to actually charge. There's still more power being used than is coming in. You're like, okay. So I drove to Bletchley Park, took these pictures, and after about 3 hours, 4 hours, I was down to about 30%. You know, it just burnt through. I mean, it's 33 now. It just burnt through. It's got a fantastic standby time. Turn the screen off, put it in your pocket, don't touch it for 6 hours. You may only use 3-4% battery. So that fifth core kicks in and takes over, and it does do a great job. But turn your screen on and start using it, it probably drops 10% in the first sort of 15 to 20 minutes of use. The screen seems to be a massive hog. Whereas, I mean, I can show you the statistics, the battery statistics for my day so far. So okay, it's not a massive long time, 13 hours. Screen on time, I know everyone wants to know about that, almost 2 hours. Oopsie. But that's going to, you know, keep going at this rate, and if I want to turn the screen off finally from doing this, and that'll go on for a few more hours. I've already, and it's only, you know, 5 or 6 days old, I've already clocked up 16 or 17 hours, no problem, with 25% battery left and what have you. So even though it's early days, the S3 seems to have much better battery, and that's only going to get better over the next week or so, hopefully. So me, that's a big deciding factor. Okay, so there we go. I have waffled on a lot longer than I thought I would, and I didn't mean to, so my apologies. I hope I haven't bored you too much, and I hope that I've helped you decide which device is the one that you want. Because I know there's a lot of people out there trying to decide at the moment between Samsung and between HTC. What I would say, if I was told, so I'm leaning towards the S3, that's probably the phone I will keep and use my daily device. If I was told, Andy, you've got to use the 1X for the next 6 months, I wouldn't be that bothered. It's really, they're both such good devices. You've got either of these, you can't really go far wrong. It's, you know, we're now with Android, we're getting to that point where you're picking on such small little things about the curvature of the back or the position of the power button that's the deciding factor. That's, you know, that's the place we're at now, which I think is great. You know, there are so many great devices around. So there we go. Let us know in the comments which one you're leaning towards, or which one you've got, and if you're happy or if you change your mind. Feel free, obviously, give us your. I've said a lot of it's to do with opinion. Oh dear, look at the dirt on there now. A lot of it's to do with just personal preference on which you prefer. Let us know in the comments. Help other people out. People will come to this video to decide. You know, if you make a comment, makes a lot of sense. People will give it thumbs up. It'll be up there at the top, and it'll help other people as well. There we go. As I say, we'll have a camera test on hemorrdroids.net. It won't be on YouTube. Don't forget. Within the next week or two, hopefully, and we'll have an actual sort of, as we've done before, testing them, GPS and web browsing and all that sort of thing. So keep your eyes on hemorrdroids.